right now. What's going on, Patrick?
Not much on this blessed day today. I'm ready to talk about financial literacy, chop it up with the next generation. And me being in the younger generation than y'all, feeding and picking y'all brains.
Okay.
So the topic today.
I want to be in that young generation too. I don't think I'm that old.
You older than me?
Okay, there you go. All right.
I ain't saying you old. I'm just saying you older than me. You was in a different generation than I am.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll be old today. I'll be old.
Nah, you ain't old though.
So what now?
You on the phone still?
No, man, I'm off, brother.
Oh, you must be changing.
No, bro, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I hit stop.
There you go.
Stop video. What's going on, family?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Listen, talking about old. I hear y'all talking about old on here. My nephew found out how old he's 9. He found out how old I was today. He's talking about, oh, so basically you an old man then. Basically, I was like, for real? That's what you think?
Basically.
Man, that what all kids say. I remember when I was 8 years old, and my uncle said, I asked him how old he's like, I'm 38. I said, 38, man, you're gonna die soon.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's that mind of a kid, right?
Yeah.
That's the mind of a kid. So how was y'all weekend?
Fantastic.
Good, bro. Good.
How's your week so far?
Just busy, man, but I've been looking forward to this conversation here.
Oh,
you know, I've been Monday and Tuesday, today and yesterday, I just been swamped, man, but I am definitely ready to get on with it today.
Well, I'm glad you are, because this week's topic is a financial foundation. So, myself, Isaac, and Patrick, we have a pretty firm understanding on how to create that foundation, and hopefully within the next hour, we can convey that information over to you so you guys can start doing the same thing too. So when you hear the word financial foundation, Isaac, Patrick, what first comes to mind?
Well, I'm gonna answer that twofold. In the past, I just thought it meant having a job, just with the education that I was raised with. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it meant having a job and having basic life insurance. I mean, that's pretty much what I thought. And then I said, well, maybe I need to get some financial investments, at some point in time. But for me, at this point in time, it's a whole plethora of things that you got to make sure that you take care of, from not just working, but to make sure that if you can't work, that you're protected, that your children are going to be, you're building a legacy for your children, that you can be able to do the things that the Lord didn't put us on the earth here just to go to work every day and come home and watch TV. He put us out here to have a ministry. So to be able to have enough money to take care of all your bills, all your finances, live how you want to live, and fund the thing that your gift is in. So if your gift is in mentoring young people, then you've got the money to do that. So to me, that's what all of the financial foundation means to me. But primitively speaking, prior to this education, it just meant having a job and having basic life insurance.
What about you, Black Tie?
To be honest, if I want to approach it like Isaac did, and I say about what I did know and what I know now, before I just thought it was having enough money in your savings and having money to do what you wanted to do. But now when I hear financial foundation, I hear success. So success is whatever you perceive it to be, but having a proper financial foundation for me, equates success. Because if your financial foundation is solid, I mean, you're in the best position. Okay. So I think that every day in life, you building on that. You're not necessarily looking at a number as far as like, oh, I want to just make 1 million. Yeah, that's something that's in your mind, but having your things in place and having your financial foundation solid is the definition of success to me now.
Okay, so I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't with you at all until you said one thing, okay? And that is a successful foundation. All right, because when I ask you guys what comes to mind when you hear the word foundation, I want to see, you know, what you actually had to say about it. Okay, as far as what you thought that was, because a foundation can be anything. It could be some wood, it could be sand, it could be whatever. So a foundation is, yeah, you can have one, but it's a strong one. It is a good one. Okay. And so for me, when I hear the word foundation, I think of something that's solid. You know, I think it's something that whether I'm alive or not, it's gonna produce a result, a good result. Right.
That's right.
So for me, it ain't enough to have just a foundation. It's how solid is that foundation? How strong is it? You know, how many generations can that foundation support? You know, just my generation, you know, what about my kids, my grandkids, blah, blah, blah. So the stronger the foundation, then the more generations it can support after you're dead and gone. So that's what I mean by that. So the question is, how do you create a strong financial foundation?
From the bottom up.
Duh.
From the bottom up. And I like when I talk to clients or anybody that's in the street, my friends, I always say, hey, do you know what a financial foundation is? That's the first thing I talk to them about.
Okay.
You know what it is. And you know, it doesn't, when I talk to them, I know a lot of people, when you talk about finances, it's like they feel like they automatically go into a protection mode where they're like, nah, you're not talking to me about finances. But I'm not saying that your finances is bad. I'm just saying where you at. You could be all the way at just investments. Everything else is solid. You just at investments. Yet just yesterday, matter of fact, I ran into a guy I played football with in high school. He's in the NFL now. His name is Mac Brown. Y'all know that name?
It's
Not
familiar.
together, but I know them
Huh?
separately.
Some of us separately. Well, yeah, he went to high school. He went to high school at MLK, and I played football against him when I went to Stevenson. And I talked to him about it. And we was just going back and forth. And I just asked him, you know, about your financial foundation? Like, you got that in place? Do you know what that means? And he shot some things at me that had me like oh, okay, I learned something new today. So
Bruh. Hey, before you keep going, okay? My aunt passed away last week, and her funeral was this
sorry to hear
weekend,
that.
right?
My condolences, brother.
But
Thank you. And after the service, you know, we all wanted to go get something to eat. So everybody, you know, everybody wants Jamaican food, right? So we're in Miami, where they're everywhere. So we found one that wasn't like a commercial one, like a Golden Crust or something like that, real Jamaican food. So obviously, you know, it's going to be in the hood somewhere, right?
Right.
So I'm sitting there. We get to the place, and I said, "Oh my God, I can't live looking at this." I'm sitting here staring at a street sign that says Obama Boulevard. Okay, I'm like, damn. So you know you're in the hood now. Now when you see just MLK, but now Obama's name, because that's where it was at. I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, man, you know what? Hey, don't put my name in the hood. Put it somewhere where, you know, where I know it's gonna be respected. Not saying it's not, but man, why gotta go there? Anyway, off topic.
using Miami Gardens.
I think so. Yeah. Yes, I was. Yeah. By the stadium.
Yeah.
By the
Oh
stadium.
yeah.
You know where it is.
Oh yeah.
You see how I call that
Y'all
out?
know. So y'all know where I was at.
I had once you said the stadium, then I recognized. I was like, oh, by the stadium. Yeah, there we go.
Deep in it, right there. Obama Boulevard. Damn, we got what? You know, anyway, back to this topic here. Financial foundation. So great points there, Patrick. What you say, Isaac?
Well,
How you create this foundation, this strong one?
well, really just piece by piece. You know, when we hear this, we want to build it up immediately. You're like, oh man, this is such great information. I got to try to build it up immediately. But you know, and for the people that don't know what I'm talking about, Tanisha, Tanisha is the production assistant for the show. If you wouldn't mind pulling up the cake, so I just want people to kind of understand, because I'm talking like everybody knows what we know.
Thanks, Tanisha.
Thank you, Tanisha. So when you receive this information, you know, most people think investments is the start, Trevor. But really it's getting proper protection for yourself and for your life. Because if you die, your legacy that you leave for your children, I mean, your wife and your children, you don't want to just die and then they struggle to bury you. You want to leave something there for them, because that's the foundation that you have to have. And I know we may get into it a little later. I know you call it the royal flush, the IUL, Trevor. You like to call it that, but the IUL is one of the greatest assets for protection, not just for your life, but for your future. After that, you know, you got debt management that you want to try to get under control. You got emergency fund. You should always have an emergency fund. I know my mentor, Delitha, she uses a mutual fund for her emergency fund. You know, which it's not as bad as a savings account, but still it earns a little bit more money, and you can use that as a savings account, not as as emergency fund. And then of course you want to start looking at investments. So you really got to start out by taking it one piece at a time, and the proper piece, you know, to start with is protection. And that protection could be not just for your life, but it could be for your job. You don't have to die. You can have protection for your job. You can have protection for your health. You know, if you get injured and are not able to work, you got protection for your health. So the protection part, you know, is the first part. And then as your income continues to grow, you start tackling all the other things, the debt management, the emergency fund, the investment, all of those types of things. So you just really need to start piecing it together. And I just wanted to remind everybody, we're talking about this. This is Fathers and Finances. So this foundation isn't just for you, it's for the legacy that you leave for your children. So you got to kind of have all of this in mind when we're talking about fathers and finance.
You know, and that's and there's a strong foundation right there. But one piece of it I want to talk about is the top piece, okay? The investment part, all right? Because there are people that just don't want to invest in anything, you know, whether it's real estate, stocks, currency, whatever. They just don't want to invest. And like, well, why is the investment a piece of the foundation if it's something that I don't want to do? Okay. Well, it depends on how you look at the word investment. All right. Yeah. You could be, that top piece can be as far as, you know, you invest your money in other areas to create growth or to create return. But if you're not necessarily going to invest in something, you know, one of the biggest problems a bank has, okay, people think that a bank's biggest problem is where can they loan their money? Okay, that's not a bank's biggest problem. Okay, the bank's biggest concern is because the banks already know all their money will not be out there being used all the time in form of loans, right? So a bank's biggest concern is, where is my money sitting when it's not being used? Okay, because when the dollar is not being used to create another dollar, it creates what's called opportunity loss. Okay, because the purpose of a dollar is not to buy anything. The purpose of a dollar is to make one more dollar, okay, or two more dollars, right? So a bank's biggest concern is, where is my money sitting if it's when it's not being used? So that top piece there, investment, doesn't necessarily mean that you, the individual, has to be investing in something that creates a return. It could mean that the money that you don't want to use to invest in, or the money that you have that you are living on or using up, that money needs to be sitting somewhere that's creating what's called a tax advantage position, okay, where it's
Trevor,
earning
Trevor,
more.
let me ask you a question.
Yep.
You mentioned that people don't want to invest. Why do you think that is historically for us as Black people, that we have an aversion?
One, we don't know what to do, and two, risk.
Man, but bruh, all right, so listen to me. Or let me not call any names. I know people, man, that religiously go invest in the lotto every time it's available, or some scratch offs, or whatever. I mean, that's a risk. I'm taking $1, $2, $5, $20 sometimes. I mean, I used to. There's a when I lived in Florida, there was a convenience store. I would go to get gas, and every Saturday they'd be in there, bro. Like a bunch of them, all races, all of them poor though. All races, Black, white, Hispanic, all poor, and they'd be in there talking about strategies on how to guess numbers to see if they could get the lotto. And to me,
Yeah.
that was just a waste. I was just like, man, that's a waste
So you
of
would
time.
think that, okay, if they can invest their hard-earned money and risk it on a lotto, why not actual investment? Well,
Right.
here's the thing: most people don't view buying lotto as an investment because you know what
Lotto is a tax. You know, lotto is a tax, right?
Dude, when you're buying hope, it don't matter.
But no,
Lotto
what I'm saying is the reason lotto was invented was because they wanted to figure out how to tax people without them being taxed.
Oh yeah.
So they said, let's create this lotto. So if they're giving away here in Georgia, it was what, 750 million a couple of days ago. How much, if they gave away 750, how much did they actually earn to give away $750 million? It's a formula to that.
It goes back down to what I always say, paradigm, okay? How do you process information? Because someone views investment in a totally different way than you do, and I do. And you can tell them all day long that what they're doing is wrong, but not to them.
Right.
You know? So
the people I'm thinking about it cuss me out if I tell them it's wrong.
Oh yeah. And until that nail starts
so playing the lotto is wrong.
That wasn't gonna change.
So y'all think playing the lotto is wrong?
I didn't say it was wrong, no.
As an investment strategy, yeah, it's wrong. Listen, man, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie like I've never in my life. I know 50.
I played. I ain't gonna lie.
I probably played 10, 12 times in my life. At 50, I probably played 10 or 12 times. And it was just more of a fantasy for me. Like, man, what would I do with $100 million? But it was just, I just gave that money away and didn't even think about it. I didn't even anticipate winning. But when you spend you can't wait to get up in the morning.
Man,
did I win? Did I win? Oh, let me look. Did I win?
I know somebody, man, that play every day, like twice a day. You know, gotta get them numbers in. Some people it's a spiritual thing. Some people it's I got a dream last night that play these numbers here. I mean, people are serious about them that lotto thing. And again, I think it's just it comes down to that paradigm, you know,
right?
Because you can look at anything and say it's a tax. Whether you buy lotto for a living, you know, whether you buy a cigarette for a living, you know, that drink for a living, whatever, you know. So yeah, so that's a broad thing there. So that should go under that debt management portion of understand how you're spending your money and where it's going. Okay,
right.
Most people out there do not know where all their money is going. All right, all they know is that every month I got this bill, and that bill. That's it. But as far as their money, they have no clue how much of the money is left over every month. That's the problem.
I think one thing, greetings, gentlemen. I really do appreciate your conversations. I think one thing that's connected to that is the iceberg mentality too. People just want to see the iceberg. They want to see the end result, not understanding. Like Warren Buffett lived in the same house for like 60 years.
Lives. Yes,
still there in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times I think with us especially, it's like it's the glitz it's the glory. It's not the actual step by step, because what you presented right there in that document is a step by step process. Most people on a day-to-day basis don't want to take the step by step. Really, the goal is to get 1% better every single day in order to reach your goal. It's not going to have, like they say that cliche, Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't. Neither were the pyramids. It took time. It took precision. It took a step by step disciplined process in order to achieve that.
And that's what a great point there too. And that's why the top piece of the cake, the investment, is the smallest piece, because by the time you get there, your acumen on money and finances will be completely different. Okay.
Right,
And then
right.
investment does become a piece of your priority. Now you shift what you actually do with your money. And Warren Buffett, like you said, has lived in the same house for decades. Okay. And he lives in that house in Omaha, Nebraska, is actually where he's at.
Right.
And that's where he lives. And he's lived there for like it's over 60 years. And he's an individual that has that foundation down pat. So once you get that foundation down, everything now becomes a habit. Okay. And the habit is what creates results, because your habits will dictate your behavior. And by the time you get ready to invest, yes, investing will look completely different to you, because then at that point, almost everything you do is looked at like an investment.
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, Trevor, while we were speaking on that top part though, and I think you was saying this, and if you're saying this, fine, but just from a fathers in finance and Black fathers in finance, man, we got to spend some time investing in each other as far as building each other up, and then investing in education like this to find out exactly what it is that we want to do. For some of us, like when the light comes on and you realize that we've all really just haven't had this knowledge, this acumen, this information that was available to us, you want to get out there and do something. But I like to use the example of the coal when you're barbecuing. One coal by itself can't heat any meat at all. You got to have all the coals together working. So that's why all of us are on here. I don't have all the knowledge, neither does Patrick, neither does Trevor, but all of us on here as a family and a community, we can get on here and talk, pool our resources together, help educate other people in the community and build ourselves up. So the investment part of it has to also, we got to look at it too from an investment in ourselves, whether that's through education, whether that's through making proper alliances, whether that's through making sure that our children are properly educated. The one thing that I have made sure is that my children have gotten this financial education. And my daughter met with Delitha one time. And that girl has been like the Tasmanian devil, bro. I'm telling you, she's taken off. She called me. Look, I'm scared to take her calls, bro, because she'll ask me where I'm at on my goals. And if anybody got a baby girl, any grown man on here that's got a baby girl, when your baby girl hop on you, it's like a piranha, man. I mean, them girls, bro, it's crazy. So she called me Sunday. Dad, what you doing with so-and-so? I know you get paid this upcoming Friday. What's going on with that? I need you to make sure that you have. I said, baby girl, I've already got I'm going to increase the savings. All right. I'm going to increase it. All right. But she met with Delitha one time, and Delitha, that was it. And Delitha, Charlotte, John went running down that road. So I just wanted to bring us that investment means, you see what Tanisha said. That's what daughters do. So you do. So funny. Tanisha, I'm assuming you do your father like that.
My daughter.
Of course, Isaac, you know that.
My daughter and I, we're very, very close. And this weekend we're watching the Bucks game, right? She's in Cali, okay, and I was at home. And her boyfriend is a big Bucks fan, so we're bantering back and forth on the Bucks game. And about half an hour after the game is over, me and my daughter share the same hotel app, okay, for Hilton. Right? I got mad points. So she goes on there and books rooms and stuff. So I heard my app go off, and I said, Hilton in Tampa. I said, wait a minute now. So I texted my daughter. I said, you just book a room in Tampa for the weekend for the 6th? She's like, yeah. I said, why? She goes, I'm going to Super Bowl. I said, oh, okay. My daughter. All right. Now, let me tell you something. She is a creation of me, or from me. Okay. And that little girl, man, she the way her mind works, it scares me sometimes. All right. And
It's
she knows
terrifying.
how to give her. Now it does help that her best friend is the girlfriend of damn, what's one that name for Vikings?
Who?
Running back for the Vikings. What's his name?
Oh,
Um,
God dang it.
They'll all comment at once because it's like
Went
all
to-
men on here. No
went
one
to-
knows.
Went to
Running
Florida
back for
State.
Vikings.
I know exactly who you're talking about. He went to
That's
Florida
it, yeah.
State.
Well, whatever, yeah.
tore his
That's her,
knees
her
up a bunch of times.
That's her boyfriend. That's her best friend's
Adrian
boyfriend. Okay, so they're going to the Super Bowl. But it's very, very cool to have your kids, tell you, Dad, I'm going to the Super Bowl, rather than then say, hey, Daddy, can't go to the Super Bowl, and you pay for it. That's what
Right.
happens when you build a proper foundation. You cannot pass it off to your kids because now it's strong. That's a strong foundation right there. When your kids are not repeating what you're doing, that's strong.
No
It's
question.
it's Dalvin Cook. Go ahead, brother.
Dalvin, yeah,
So-
Dalvin, yeah, yes.
Oh,
Her best
okay,
friend,
okay.
that's his girlfriend. So, her best friend.
Go ahead, sir.
Huh?
My question is, so I'm not a father, and I made a pact with a few of my close friends where I said the minute that we find out, whichever one of us is, we all got to hold each other accountable. But it's two things we need to get done. First thing is LLC in our kid's name. Second thing is a life insurance policy. So when we're talking about investment, right? Because investment was at the top, it was like getting all those other things together. But I believe in betting on yourself and thinking long term. Would you advise, because most of us, or I feel like most people in that situation, the first thing you're doing is like clothes, diapers, all those different material items in the immediate. Is it wiser, because this is my philosophy at this stage of life, where I'm investing in an insurance policy that's going to be super cheap, that I know when I get to the point of, I'm not sure how old your daughters are, but I'm thinking about when they're 22, 23, whether they've gone to college, whether they decided that they wanted to tour the world for 2 years, whatever the case may be. When they get to that age, I could say, hey, you're not only you're going to transfer it over to, but there's money built up in it. They can go towards whatever, whether that be a business, whether that be a house, whatever the case may be. What is your advice and thoughts on that situation?
Well, I know all of us are going to try to speak at once on this. There's there's something that I would certainly advise you to do. I mentioned earlier that Trevor calls it the royal flush. I'll just give you an example. I did it. Trevor and I first did a seminar with a classmate of mine, brother by the name of, he was in the NFL, he was Tim Watson, but he got out of NFL. His name is now Tazim Wajid, but he made more money as a financial advisor than he did as a NFL star. He enrolled all of his children at birth after 15 days in a plan called an IUL. An IUL is a life insurance plan that builds cash value that you can take out tax-free. So one of his sons plays for the CFL now, but that son, all of his children, long story short, and I'm not giving his personal business, he actually told his story. He's told his story numerous times. One of his sons is probably going to the NFL this year. One is already in the CFL this previous year, but had they not made it to the pros, one of them was going to pay for his schooling, all of his secondary school, like one wanted to be an orthodontist. So he's going to pay for orthodontist school cash from his IUL. The other one was going to do the same thing for his secondary school. His daughter, who just graduated, has paid for a house and opened up her own business. So she owns her own house as soon as she graduated from college, and she's running her own business. So the IUL is a single policy that protects their life and grows cash value so that you can take care of them down the line. Gone are the days. See, brother, I'm way older than you, brother, sir, but you're getting education that I didn't get. I was taught, hey, you need to get a Gerber life whole life plan. That's what people used to tell us back in the day. In the 70s, I used to see the commercial for the Gerber whole life. But when you know better, you do better. So my suggestion, brother, would be to put one on your daughter so that, and we'll get into the cost of insurance and all that type of stuff later. We don't want to bore everybody with that. And I think you're a guest of Tanisha, so I'm pretty sure she would be more than willing to talk to you, but and get into the nuts and bolts of it. But the cost of insurance on a baby is minimal. So the more that you put into that plan, that IUL plan, is absolutely fantastic. It just goes really mostly to investment, and your daughter would be your child would be taken care of. And for us old people that's ready to have some grandbabies, that's the next thing to do. I know when I have a grandbaby, I'm taking one out for sure. I mean, I'm already looking forward to that. So.
All right, I wanted to jump in there because I think I got the youngest child out of the panel. I got a 2-year-old, sir. So your first name, sir, right? So, oh, I can't hear you.
Okay, my bad. So my name is.
I have a 2-year-old.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Your name?
My name is Ame, aka Sir Amazing.
Got it.
You can call me Ame.
Okay. Oh, so but I call you Ame. Okay, cool. So when I have my daughter, I got introduced to this organization and I put an IUL for myself. Now, when I looked into it for my daughter she wasn't 10 months yet. And I said, oh yeah, I do it for myself. I'm about to do it for my daughter too. But when I seen how much more money my daughter was going to get than I was, or what I was going to be able to acquire because she has more time, it deals with time and how much you put it in there. So I already understand what comes with buying this policy, understand what this policy is going to do. So it's a great investment, and it's not that much money. Like Isaac said, it's very minimal because your babies are healthy. Your babies, they're going to get rated a good rate, and to start them early is the best thing. And then you can teach them about exactly what that thing is doing, what that IUL is doing, so that because we all on this all on this call today is on a mission to help people that look like us, to help us understand about how we're going to transfer wealth generations down. It's not just enough for us to be good. We want us to be good and teach the next generation to also know what they're going to take that money that we're leaving back and what they're going to do with that. Right. To make sure that that cycle continues to go on, so that then you have those, like how we see in other communities, you see trust fund babies. We want to have trust fund babies. We want to have trust fund kids that's coming out. I want to be a trust fund baby. You know what I'm saying? So
too late for you.
You younger than us, brother, but you young. You ain't that young.
Yeah. So I want to we want to stress that fact of how this, like he said, the royal flush is out there for us to make it happen, and we definitely have the means to make it happen. We just got to know what to do. So,
and like Patrick said earlier, he said that all of this is a step-by-step process that gets you somewhere, right? And I completely understood the context of what Sir said about putting your kids on an LLC and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not an attorney, okay? Nor do I want to be, nor do I claim to be. I just know a lot about money and business. But and when you ask someone, why do you want to own an LLC? Why do you want to put your kids on one? Their first answer is because they want to own a business, right? And here's the truth. An LLC is not a business, okay? It's a company, right? So even if you open up an LLC, you don't have a business, right? What you have is a company. And how do you know whether you have a business or a company or what? The reason why I'm saying it is not because you may have a landscaping business, all right, and that's what you do, okay, and you name it, Patrick Graves Lawn Service, okay, LLC, all right. That just tells you what you do. It isn't necessarily a business because if it was a business, it will be taxed as such. Okay, a LLC is not taxed as a business. It's taxed as a sole proprietor because that's what you are. Okay, the term LLC came out in 1978. Okay, before that, it was called a sole proprietor. Okay, now why did the name change? Because before 1978, all of these landscapers, all of these contractors, all of these people that did the work and called themselves Patrick Graves LLC, Landscaping LLC, they want to be viewed as a business. Uncle Sam says you're not a business. Why? Because you do the work. If you do the work, you are not a business, okay? You're called a sole proprietor, right? So they went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Uncle Sam said, fine. We will insult your intelligence and not call you a sole proprietor, but we'll call you a limited liability company and make you think you're a business. You're not a business. What you are is a sole proprietor, because if you earn money in that sole proprietor, okay, whatever you earn, some of that money is expensed, okay, whatever is left over is passed to the managing member, which would be you, Patrick, okay, and now that income is now taxed at the employee level, which can be anywhere from 35 to 60%. If you were a true business, okay, you'd be taxed on the other side of the quadrant under a schedule, all right? So I'm not saying don't open up an LLC, okay? What I'm saying is this: get more information on an LLC, because the LLC is not a business, even if you have a tax ID number associated with it. All that means is your CPA or yourself filed a form called IRS Form 2553. That form allows you to create a tax ID number, and it also allows you to expense like a business, which most people cannot do without a tax ID, because a business is allowed to create what's called a invoice, a IOU. An LLC cannot. They must prove what they spend.
Trevor.
Way off topic, my bad.
Trevor, how in the hell did you know that that thing started in 1978? I mean, I know a lot of stuff, bro, but I can't figure out the date.
I'm a professional. I was paid to know more than you.
Well, maybe so, but that's ridiculous. 1978?
1978, bro.
God dang, bro.
1978 is when the LLC came out, all right? Okay. IRC 401k. When did that come out?
Hey man, look, this ain't Jeopardy,
1974. It's called ERISSA.
This ain't the Daily Double, man. This ain't the Jeopardy Daily Double.
I got a question for you. Trevor. So how, are you able to turn an LLC into a legitimate business?
Never.
So how do you start a business then?
By creating a S-corp.
The perception in the world is,
here's what you do. I make it easy. I make it simple for you. The LLC does the work. The S-corps gets paid the money and pays the money. This is the business. This is the worker. LLC, worker. S-corp, money maker. Right? So name one, Patrick Graves LLC. They did the work, but Patrick Graves Inc. makes the freaking money.
A question about that though, because technically, as an LLC, because I own a couple LLCs, if you can hire technically consultants that are workers, but they're not full-time employees. And in a case like the pandemic, when you own an LLC, you actually in a better position to get funds as opposed to just being a regular employee.
Correct.
Oh, for sure.
Correct.
So my wife's juice bar is an LLC, and during the pandemic, the LLC status certainly helped her as far as that's concerned. As a matter of fact, most people that didn't have an LLC during the pandemic, if they were to receive funds, LLC, S corp, C corp, any of those types of things, they weren't able to. They had a more difficult time receiving money.
Right. I'm not saying do not create the LLC. Okay. What I'm saying is this.
It's all about
Most
taxes.
people don't understand the 4 ways that people get paid in the world. You're paid either as an employee, W-2, 1099, okay, schedule on a B or C on this side, okay? If you earn all your money in a 1099 or W-2 fashion, you are paying way more taxes than you would if you earned it on a 1099 side. So anyone that owns a business right now that's an LLC, keep the LLC open. Just create an S corp that gets paid all the money, because all the crap that you can't expense through an LLC, you can literally write off through an S corp. You're not maximizing your taxes doing it through an LLC. So if you already have an LLC, it's very, very simple. Just create an S corp now that gets paid the money, and they get paid all the money and they pay out the money. All the Juice Bar LLC does is serve juice. They don't get paid no money. So if someone gets sick in so-and-so LLC Juice Bar, okay, who can they sue? They sue the Juice Bar, okay? If the LLC Juice Bar is holding assets, i.e. money, okay, they can go after that. But if all the Juice Bar did was sold juice, okay, but didn't make no money, if they get sued for serving bad juice, okay, take my mixer. I don't know, okay, but hey, that's all I got. All my money wasn't made here.
We serve good juice, bro. Don't put that bad juju out there.
Yeah, you serve good juice.
Bro.
I'm just saying.
No, we serve good juice, man. We serve good
And
juice.
Sage is located in Duluth,
It's very,
Georgia.
very simple. I tell you, whoever does the work better not make the damn money. Put it like that.
I wanted to do something different today, because when we have these conversations, we want to make it like how it's the barbershop, right? So I'm talking to Trevor, I'm asking him things, I'm learning things too on here. But besides Sir, I see some people that get on, and I want to know what y'all getting on to learn something and hear something.
Yeah,
and what do you have questions on? What's going on in your situation? How you feel about what we're talking about? Do you have any questions? Winston, I see you still at work, but
No, I'm home.
oh, you home? You at the house?
I just love staying in uniform, man. It's just so exciting for me.
Okay. It's good to talk to you, Winston. I wouldn't want to be in the barbershop getting my haircut. We just talking, and then you just sitting there. I was like, I wouldn't say something. I would say, what's going on, David? What's going on, man? How you doing?
That's what's up, David.
All right, so yeah, I could say this much. Look, I got introduced to all this stuff by Trevor. Trevor introduced me to the IUL, which I jumped on. Spoke to my son about it. My son jumped on with Trevor as well.
Thank you.
My wife is going to jump on as soon as we clear up some stuff we're doing here, and I'm going to open up one for my daughter as well. So, I listen, man, and I learn.
Okay, fantastic news.
Trevor as well. So, yeah, well, I'm here, man. Try to become.
Okay. I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Go on, David.
What's going on, David?
And I've been wanting to talk for a minute. I just sit back and listen. I met Trevor, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago when he came to Chicago. I took that course. And
Chirac in the house.
so it went left the way I wanted the stuff to pan out. I did want to bring up insurance because Trevor, I don't know if you know, my mom, she passed away on September 5th.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Condolences, brother.
Yes.
and my dad, he passed away 17 days later
Oh man.
on 22nd. So right now, it's kind of hard for me to talk, but we dealing with this right now because my mom, she didn't have too much insurance, life insurance. We still waiting on some of the money. We trying to save the house. She just bought a house 2 years ago. So we gonna save the house, but my dad, he had no insurance. So a lot of that stuff y'all talking about, I'm dealing with it. I'm 42 years, well, I'm about to be 42 years old. So coulda, shoulda, woulda. I kept stressing to them, you know, to get life insurance, and they didn't. So I got an IUL. I got 2 kids. My oldest daughter, she's 21. I actually just got her insurance a few months ago. I've been lacking on that, but my little girl, I put an IUL on her too about 3 years ago. And I believe his name is Patrick. I think that was Patrick. He was talking about how when they small, the smaller they are, the less you pay. You know what I'm saying? And then later on,
Cost of insurance is less.
yeah, I kind of, my daughter, she's 21 now. And I wish I would have known that. She could have had some bread, and now she ain't got no bread like that, you know? So I'm just a living example of not having life insurance puts a toll on your family. So that's what we dealing with. So I always been preaching to get life insurance. I preach to people all the time, get life insurance. So and I got an IUL. My barbershop is an escort. I love
There
what
you
Trevor.
go.
Oops, man, I've been following you for a minute. You the truth. So that's it. That's all I want to say. I've been wanting to speak for for these last classes, man. And you know, a lot of times I don't get to make it on these lives because I'm cutting hair. So now I'm free. So I keep listening in. I'm sharing with people to chime in. I love what y'all doing. That's it.
Thanks, David.
Hey,
Hey,
just to
Condolences,
add,
brother.
just
That's a
to
John,
add
powerful
take
something,
testimony.
time. Yes,
I wanted to add
and
something one time, guys. I don't know, and Trevor and Isaac, this is just something that I learned through me being around it. All right, so you know how you spoke, David, on you was waiting on the money to come to you as far as your life insurance policy ended, or your parents passing away, and you was waiting for their money to come to you. Do you know what an Everest policy is as well?
Everest?
Yes. So that's what an Everest does is put the cushion between when that policy is going to come out to you, so that you have the money immediately.
Okay.
right.
So
Yeah,
that
because yes.
Good point. Good point.
And you don't have to prove you don't have to prove the certificate of death or anything. You make the call and say, hey, this person died or this person passed away, and they're going to send you the check.
Right.
So who
So that's what. So that's going to cover that time between when your IUL money is going to come to you or to your family, and between that time, and it's going to cover over the concierge. So all of the funeral expenses,
Expenses.
where they're going to get buried at, they're going to cover all of that.
Okay,
So
So you can get what Trevor. Go ahead, Trevor.
So great point there, Patrick. And sir, he asks, what's the difference between an IUL and a whole life? You want to take this, Isaac? I help you out.
Well, I'm going to come to you for help when I need the dates of all of these types of things. Like, 1996, it did something or whatever. So I'm going to come to you when we get to that part of it.
Hey, I got them somewhere, bro. I got them somewhere.
I know you do. Listen, just type in the date. When I say an event, you type in the date. That was in 1955. So
I check it out. Hey, April 15th, okay? April 15th, 1971, off the coast of Maine, an island called Minot, okay? Minot, Maine. That's when your boy which was it? Nixon took us off the gold standard.
Right, right. Now I knew it was 71. I didn't know the date. So that's what,
April 15th, 1971, off the coast of Maine, the island called Minot.
why is Maine necessary? We just
It's
need to know we
important.
was
It
picking up the
make
gold
it
standard.
sound smarter.
All right.
No, but check it
All
out.
right.
The difference.
Let me ask. So real quick, a whole life plan. They're very similar. They're not dissimilar at all. They're very similar. They're actually kind of based on the same premise. The difference is there's a higher level of compound interest with the IUL. You can only take a loan out on whole life. So if you've got a whole life policy that you paid in for 10, 15 years, you get that money out. You know, it's not going to, most of them is not going to be taxed. However, you can't, if you take that money out, you're going to cash out your policy, or you have to loan it out and then pay it back. Now, you don't loan it out on a whole life policy. It's not the interest rate to pay it back is not that high. But on a IUL, not only can you take out the cash value, depending on how it's structured, you're able to take out some of the face amount as well, depending on what's happening. So for instance, if you've got a critical illness, you had a stroke and your medical expenses are quite high, and you got a $500,000 plan with $250,000 worth of cash value, then you can use a good portion of that money. You know, the whole thing about that, brother, is it's really like a whole life policy on steroids. It's like all the things that you wish a whole life policy could do, you know, this does, you know. So again, I don't have the date. So whatever I left off, Trevor, go ahead and, you know, put in the dates of when something was instituted with these IULs. And I think my big sister, even though she's younger than me, my big sister Delitha is on, and she wants to drop some literally every time I talk to her about an IUL, I think I knew something, and she dropped something new on me. So if she wanted to contribute, I know this is Fathers and Finances, but we humble around here. If somebody got some knowledge, you know, drop it on the group. You know, it ain't no big eyes and little U's. So if my sister want to say something as far educational, certainly drop a word in, Sister Delitha.
I better log in from my computer. I'm definitely listening to these amazing men, and man, you guys, you're so exciting. Oh my gosh. It's amazing to hear our men talk, man. You know, Trevor and Patrick and Isaac and all the brothers that are on, you guys are amazing. To the point, there's a chat question. Can you convert whole life to an index universal life? That is our brother, Sir. So it's called a 1035 exchange. And so basically what that means is you can transition. If you have a whole life, you can move that to an index universal life. Any cash value that you have that is accessible would just move from one plan to another. So you can do that. It definitely would be an upgrade. And given, of course, underwriting being what it is, the person would need to be insurable. So those guidelines would need to be met. With it being COVID-19, there's a lot of special things in place right now. So this is a great time to the brother that lost his parents. My heart goes out to you, and listening to you champion for others how this is something so important they need to do. I highly agree with you. I also encourage people, rather than just look at insurance, really look at protection. There is a difference between having life insurance and having proper protection. The difference is basically knowing your number. And so how you calculate the insurance amount needed versus what the protection is. It's called the DIME. The D stands for debt. You calculate all your debt, does not include your mortgage, credit cards, student loans, auto loans, IRS bills, you know, all that sort of thing, not your monthly expenses. That's just your debt. You take your income, you multiply it times 10. So if you make $80,000 a year, it would be $800,000, $50,000 a year, $500,000, $100,000 a year, 1 million, whatever your annual income is, multiply that times 10. Then if you have a mortgage, the amount that you owe, not what it's worth, but what you owe on it, then you would put that out It's called the Dime. Look at that, man. I tell you, we got some tech support that is on and popping. That is called teamwork. And then last but not least, this is Fathers in Finance, right? So a lot of you on here, you have children and you want to make sure they don't have student loan debt, as many of us have had student loan debt. So you incorporate college, assuming $15,000 a year for, let's see, college or university, and you have 2 kids, that would be $60,000 each. That would be $120,000. And so this is how you calculate the protection needed, as opposed to just life insurance. A lot of people have life insurance, whether on their job or separate, but you then find it's not enough to pay off the mortgage and survive. Actually, one of our brothers said, you have to pick or choose, right? You have a state. You can probably take care of the kids, but you can't replace the income. Might lose one of the businesses, can't keep the house and the business, right? So we want to do this calculation to make sure we're properly insured, to the point of what's the difference between whole life and index universal life. It's an evolution. Whole life was the very, very first type of cash value life insurance that ever existed. And so index universal life has been a transition and a part of that evolution. So you can consider whole life to be like VHS, for those of us that remember what VHS is. Okay,
Yeah.
VHS.
Look, you being nice to Lethal, boy. You being nice.
Hey, so it's something. Go ahead, Delita. You can.
And the index universal life, I would say, is like Blu-ray, right? So they are completely different in terms of the power that they hold. Yet they're both cash value life insurance. Whole life policies, you're going to see maybe between 2.5% to maybe 4% interest rate of return. Money muscle is what I call it. Index universal life, 7 to 8% compounded is very reasonable, but you can have caps up to 15%, and that's awesome, right? And then everything else would be what Isaac said, right? So being able to exercise those living benefits, long-term care, and really being able to harness tax advantage strategies at a maximum. That's what you're looking at. So back to the Fathers in Finance. Hey, thanks for letting me share. I'm enjoying just listening to our men. We love you. We support you. We honor you. And it's so amazing to see our men stepping up in our community. You guys rock.
Thank you, Delita.
Thank you, Miss Delita.
Yes, she is a real person, right? Yes, she is.
I had something to say one time before you get into it, Trevor.
What's up?
It's something that I really want to stress. And as men, because this is Fathers and Finances, and excuse my language, but we have to get off our ass and work out. If you're not healthy, none of this matters.
Yep.
And if you don't work out, how do you expect anybody in your family to work out? That doesn't mean that you have to be in the gym all day, but you have to make time to be active. We were made to be active. They're rating you off your health. So we can tell you all of this information all we want to, and then you're not qualified because you sit back. If you work at the office, you need to walk around the office. You need to park in the back of the parking lot and walk to the front door. We have to be active. We have to be healthy. And just because another reason why you should be healthy and be pushing yourself to do something active is that we have a disease that's out here that's killing us.
Yep.
And the reason why it's killing us is because our immune system is weak, because of the food we put in our body, and because we're not active. We have to actually make that a point. If you're not active, you're wrong. If you're not active, you're wrong. If you're not paying in pain right now when you're young, you're gonna pay in pain when you get older.
Tanisha, put that screen back up, that visual that you have back up, because what he said is excellent. Because when you think about it, right under number 2, must qualify, need to be in good health. So I've written policies for people that are in good health and people that are not. And I'm talking about IULs. The cost of insurance for somebody that's not in good health changes how much money you earn in the IUL. So, you know, if you're in good health, you earn more money. That's more money going towards your retirement. If you're in poor health, that's less money going towards your retirement or whatever else it is that you need to do. You know, I was very fortunate and blessed to have parents that love to exercise. That's what I saw. So that's what I grew up doing. I was playing softball, man, and had to have surgery. I hit a home run in February. They said if I stretched, I wouldn't have blew my L4, L5 vertebrae out on my sciatic nerve. Anyway, long story short, I had to wait for the surgery. And the people, I only had to wait just for an opening, but the people who were waiting to lose weight to get surgery, like in other words, you can't have back surgery and be overweight, because when you stand up, your back has to support that weight. So I was healthy weight. And if it just has so many different repercussions, because I would sit in that room and look at people who were overweight. Hey, when is your schedule? When is your surgery? Oh, I can't get surgery until I lose 70 pounds. Well, what you doing? I'm in so much pain, I can't exercise. So how are they gonna lose 70 pounds? You know what I'm saying? How drastic is their thing gonna be? So Patrick, you brought up something excellent, brother. I mean, we hardly teach on that here, but that's the main reason my wife opened the juice bar, is to try to teach on, because your health is your wealth. And what if you got $5 million, but you can't go outside because you're in a wheelchair? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gonna sit up and watch TV all day? I mean, you need to be healthy.
Yep.
And wealthy.
The healthier you are, yes, the more they'll invest you, because nobody wants to invest money. Somebody's gonna die pretty soon.
Right.
So, guys, this was a very a great topic tonight. I think we hit on some good points. If we didn't get a chance to answer your questions, you put them in the chat. If you want to ask, please reach out to myself, Patrick, or Isaac. And I hope tonight's show was very informative, as all of our shows are. And who knows what we'll talk about again next week, but I'm sure it'll be good. Fellas, again, y'all look awesome. Thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate you.
Hey, Trevor.
David. Yes.
Trevor, Tanisha put the form, and so for everybody, there's a link. If you would like to get, if you'd like to learn more about our opportunity here, Tanisha placed a link to one of the forms in there. Basically, it's like if you want to learn more about what we do here, if you would like to get more information on, have somebody contact you to do a personal financial review, then we'll be more than happy to do so. So she's filled that out. It's a link right there on the form. So I wanted to make sure that a link right there in the chat. So I just want to make sure everybody saw the link.
And David, reach out to Trevor about that Evers. Reach out to him about that Evers.
I'll break it down for you, bro.
Yeah, reach out to him about that.
Winston, you good. You already got yours. You good, bro. You good.
Yeah.
You good, Winston. You good. All right, fellas, that's it. Until next Tuesday, y'all. Peace.
All right, brothers. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.